Here's exactly what to pack for a summer trip to Italy. If you're planning a trip to Rome, Florence, Venice, Milan, or the Amalfi Coast, let's build your Italy packing list together so you're ready for the heat, the cobblestones, and everything in between. Hi, I'm Daphne with Crown Tours, and today we're packing your bags for Italy the right way so you spend less time finding your suitcase and more time actually enjoying the trip. Let's kill the biggest myth first. You do not need to cram everything into a tiny carry-on. For most people on a multi-city Italy trip, a checked bag genuinely makes sense, and there's nothing wrong with that. The actual rule is the right sized, not maxed out. The sweet spot most experienced travelers swear by is one medium checked suitcase, think 24-inch, plus a small day bag that straps onto the handle so you're moving everything with one hand. That's the setup people who go back year after year keep landing on. And why not a giant 28-inch? Because you're the one carrying it. Cobblestone streets eat the suitcase wheels. Train platforms have stairs, and Venice has actual staircases over canals, so your bag feels twice as heavy there. The test is simple. Can you lift it onto a train and up a flight of stairs by yourself? If not, size down. And whatever you do, one main bag, not two. Dragging two suitcases through a station in July is its own special misery. Do yourself one favor before this trip and get packing cubes. They compress your clothes, separate clean from dirty, and lets you repack for the next city in about 2 minutes instead of exploding your suitcase across a hotel bed. Pair this with a mix and match capsule approach. What is this? Let me explain. You choose one color family, 3 or 4 bottoms, 6 or 7 tops that all work together. That's plenty of outfits from one sensible bag, and you'll actually look put together in every photo. And the quiet trick that makes a longer trip easy is laundry. A few detergent sheets for a sink wash, or dropping a bag at a local laundromat mid-trip for around 15 euros, and suddenly you need far less than what you think. If you're finding this useful, go ahead and hit subscribe, because we'll be putting out Italy travel tips like this all summer long. Now, fabric is everything in an Italian summer. July and August in Rome and Florence regularly hit mid-30s Celsius, which is mid-90s Fahrenheit, with humidity. And this is where it becomes insufferable. The secret is fabric, not quantity. Linen, cotton, breathable blends, loose flowy fit in lighter colors that reflect the sun instead of soaking it up. Skip heavy synthetics because they trap the heat and you'll feel it by noon. And if the Amalfi Coast is in your itinerary, this is where you'll be glad you packed light. Breezy pieces plus a swimsuit and a cover-up. Those clifftop towns like Positano are stairs on stairs on stairs, so you'll want a bag you can actually carry, and clothes that move with the sea breeze. Here's the one that catches travelers off guard every single summer: the Church Dresscode. To enter the St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican and most churches across Italy, you need shoulders and knees covered. Tank top, you might get turned away. Short shorts, turn away. The move is a lightweight scarf or pashmina that lives in your day bag and goes over the shoulders for instant cover. For men, breathable trousers or longer shorts that hit the knee, and t-shirts with real sleeves. The people who get this wrong end up buying an overpriced scarf from a vendor at the church entrance. And trust me, in the summer you'll want to step inside the churches even if you're not religious and not really into art. Their thick stone walls keep them naturally cool, so they're the perfect escape when the midday heat hits. Shoes are the decision you will feel in your feet. You'll walk far more than you expect, since 15 to 20,000 steps a day is normal in Rome and Florence. So flip-flops are a hotel and beach shoe, not a walking shoe. Bring 2 pairs that are already broken in, comfortable walking shoes or sturdy sandals for the day, and one slightly nicer pair for dinner, because Italians do dress up in the evening. Actually, not just in the evening, they dress up even going to the supermarket, so you will want to blend in a little. The single most avoidable mistake travelers make is the new shoes on day one, because fresh shoes plus cobblestone equals blisters. Math. But if you do get a blister, Italian pharmacies marked by the green cross sold out almost everything, so you can skip packing a mini hospital in your suitcase. Regarding accessories, there are 2 must-bring items, and those are sunglasses and hats. Italy is very sunny during the summer. There are hardly any clouds in the sky, and since this country is basically an open-air museum, you will spend a lot of time outside, so you will need to protect your head and eyes from the sun. Speaking of which, I almost forgot. Sunscreen is essential. You can buy it in any pharmacy in Italy in case you forget to bring it from home. You have no idea how many sunburned tourists we see on a daily basis. Here's what makes Italy special and a little tricky. Every city has its own vibe, and if you like to match your outfit with your destination, hear me out. Rome is more ancient with golden evenings, so go effortless with earthy and linen, sandals and sunglasses. Plus the scarf ready for the churches. Florence is the Renaissance capital of galleries, the Duomo and Michelangelo's David. It's an elegant city and walkable, a touch more polished, with a light layer for cool gallery interiors. Venice is very romantic and humid, so think breathable everything. Flat, comfortable shoes for those bridges, and a light evening layer for canal-side dinners, because it might get chilly. Milan is the fashion capital of the world, and you'll feel underdressed if you don't level up, so this is where your nicer outfits earn their place. And if you're also visiting the Amalfi Coast and the south, that's pure golden hour. Just choose sun-drenched ease. Linen, swimwear, and a flowy dress or a shirt for dinner with a view. So basically, the same suitcase with a few intentional pieces can carry you from ancient ruins to a Renaissance gallery to a Venetian canal, to a fashion capital aperitivo, or to a cliffside sunset easily. You just need to pack smart. A few don't forget essentials people always leave behind and regret are a reusable water bottle, because Rome's free public fountains, the Nazzoni, are fed by ancient aqueducts, so you can refill free all day. A universal adapter, since Italy uses type F and L plugs. A portable charger for all that navigating and photographing. An AirTag or luggage tracker if you're checking a bag across multiple legs. A cross-body bag for the big cities. Italy is a safe country, but like any other big city, Rome and Milan suffer from a lot of pickpocketing. So we recommend bringing a tiny cross-body bag with a zipper to keep your essentials safe. So that's how you pack for Italy, like someone who's done it a dozen times. One right-sized bag, packing cubes, breathable fabric, the magic scarf, broken-in shoes, and a few pieces tuned to each city. Now that your bag's sorted, the fun part is everything you'll do once you're there. At Crown Tours, we believe a well-curated experience is the best part of traveling, and the moments that stick with people are usually the ones that go beyond the guidebook. The Colosseum without the line. The real stories behind the Sistine Chapel, the quiet corners of Florence and Venice most visitors walk right past. So if Italy's on your list this summer, here's a link in the description to all of our activities and experiences all around Italy. Remember that summer fills up quickly, so it's worth a peek. So go ahead, pack that bag, and if this video saved you some suitcase stress, like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of our summer travel series. Thanks for watching and buon viaggio!